He walked onto a plane with a fake name, ordered a bourbon, handed a flight attendant a note saying he had a bomb, collected $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes, and then, somewhere over the dark forests of Washington state at 10,000 feet, stepped off the back of a Boeing 727 and vanished forever. The man the world knows as D.B. Cooper's hijacked Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 on November 24, 1971. He was never caught, never identified, and within days, half of America was rooting for him. This is the story of how one anonymous criminal became the ultimate American legend and why we couldn't help ourselves. Context is everything. The United States in 1971 was a country at war with itself, a recession underway, counterculture at full boil, soldiers coming home from Vietnam addicted to heroin, assassinations, Kent State, civil unrest. As one researcher put it, there was a yearning for this anti-hero type of person who stuck it to the man. Into that powder keg walks one nondescript man in a business suit. Mid-40s, black tie, white shirt. He ordered a bourbon and soda while the flight waited to take off. Cool, calm, completely unremarkable. Until he wasn't. Cooper handed a flight attendant a note. Bomb in the briefcase, sit with him. He showed her a mass of wires and red-colored sticks. His demands, 4 parachutes and $200,000 in $20 bills, went to the pilot. Authorities complied. Cooper released the passengers in Seattle, kept the crew, and somewhere over the Pacific Northwest, at 10,000 feet in the dead of night, lowered the rear air stairs of the 727 and jumped into the darkness with his money. Gone. No confirmed trace of Cooper or the ransom was ever found. The only unsolved commercial airline hijacking in United States history. Now here's where the myth machine kicks in, and it starts with a name. His real alias was Dan Cooper. Early in the investigation, police briefly considered an Oregon man named D.B. Cooper before quickly clearing him. A careless journalist confused that man's name with the hijacker's alias. When the United Press International Wire reprinted the error, D.B. Cooper became the legend's official name, born from a typo. You cannot make this up. Only 4 days after the hijacking, a Seattle Times reporter collected reactions on the street. A taxi driver said, "The way I see it, anybody smart enough to take $200,000 just like that ought to make a clean getaway." An Army private said simply, "I hope he isn't caught." A criminal, a hijacker. The public was cheering him on like a hometown quarterback. Quick question. If you'd been on that Seattle street in 1971, would you have rooted for D.B. Cooper to get away or turned him in on the spot? Comment your answer below. Because here's the thing. The answer tells you everything about what America needed in that moment. His crime harmed no one. Overnight, he became a folk hero. A ballad hit the airwaves, fan clubs formed, t-shirts sold as souvenirs, bars opened with neon signs bearing his name. In under a week. That is mythology on a rocket ship. The pop culture floodgates never closed. Films, songs, TV subplots in Prison Break and Loki. Even Twin Peaks, Dale Bartholomew Cooper, D.B. Cooper. Hollywood loved a man the FBI couldn't catch. The small town of Ariel, Washington, believed to sit almost directly beneath where Cooper jumped, hosted an annual party starting in 1974. It eventually became a multi-day international festival. Panel discussions, live music, look-alike contests, glasses raised to the anti-hero who got away, every year. For a man whose real name nobody knows. The FBI called their investigation NORJAC, Northwest Hijacking. They interviewed hundreds, tracked leads nationwide, considered over 800 suspects. In 1980, An 8-year-old boy found $5,800 in decaying 20s along the Columbia River, serial numbers matching the ransom. A child found the money. It only deepened the mystery. In 2016, the FBI closed the case. 4 decades. Hundreds of agents. 0 answers. Cooper even changed aviation hardware. Airlines retrofitted aircraft with a device called a Cooper vane, making it impossible to open aft stairwells in flight. The man who was never identified has a piece of aircraft engineering named after him. He hurt no one. He outsmarted everyone. He disappeared into the dark, and we filled in the rest with whatever we needed him to be. A ghost, a genius, a symbol, a story that never ends, because it never had an ending. If this hooked you, hit subscribe. And drop your theory about who D.B. Cooper really was in the comments, because if the FBI couldn't crack it in 45 years, maybe the comment section can.